What's up, guys? In this video, we're going to be building a conversational app using OpenAI and Streamlit. Now, I've been quite excited about the release of these conversational features in Streamlit. This thing that you're seeing here, you see st.chat message. So we're going to just build the simplest version of that in VS Code. So I have my VS Code here open on my left. I'm going to start up a simple app. I'm going to try to make it as big as possible because previously I have been guilty of having code being too small on the screen. And we're going to build a simple app, chat app, streamlit.py, okay? And I know it's been a while since I posted, so I really wanted to get something out. And because I've been working on something very special for you guys that will come out at some point in a few weeks. But until then, so that we continue to have, consistency in this channel, I want to build something real quick with you guys. Let's just follow this tutorial, all right? So I want to use the st.chat message and the st.chat input because, this thing has been out for a while and I haven't built anything with it yet. Okay. Simple chat element. Okay, so here we go. So let's start with the basics. We're going to import Streamlit as a state. Okay, and we're going to give our app a title, okay? And the title is going to be Simple Conversational App. Okay, and we're already going to start building our app because we want to do it interactively. So let me see if this environment is okay. I have a list of environments here, and we're going to be building it inside of my environment that's called... Let's build inside of the summarization environment. Okay, so I'm going to activate my summarization environment. And here we go. And now I can just run Streamlit run chat app. And we can start building our app. So what's going to happen is we have on our right the app. Okay, and I'm going to make some change like write welcome to the chat app. And when I save it, now I'm going to click on always rerun, and now we're going to be able to see the changes in our app interactively as we build it. Okay, so let's go back to the tutorial. So here it says for you to just, write st.chat message user and then write something hello. So let's just copy this and see what happens, okay? So I'm just going to copy this thing here like this and save it here, and let's see what happens. When I save it, nothing happens. That's not a good start, probably because I haven't upgraded Streamlit. So let's just pip install Streamlit upgrade. There we go. So now we're upgrading Streamlit so that when we run our app, it has the latest features, in this case, the chat message option. Okay, so now I'm going to run it again, and we should see some changes in our app real quick. Let's see. Sorry. And there we go. Hello. So we were able to start with our chat message. Okay, perfect. Now, after we've done that, notice message display with the default user, but you can pass in as assistant to use a different default avatar or passing a custom name avatar. See the API reference for more details. Great. So basically, we can write chat messages as users or assistant. So let's write it as an assistant. So now I'm going to write one. I wrote one as user. I'm going to write one as an assistant. And I will have to have NumPy here on my machine. And now when we run this, I'm going to click on always rerun. And then hello human, etc. So we have this little avatar for the human and the machine for the assistant option. Okay, perfect. What else? Let's see. So far we've displayed predefined messages, but what if we want to display messages based on user input? So now it's very simple. So you say the prompt is chat input. And then if the prompt writes something like user has sent the prompt, look at that. That is as simple as they go. So now let's just erase this, and we're going to go back to our little app, and I'm going to write prompt equal st.chat. Oh, go back, chat input, and then, say anything. And now I'm going to say if prompt. So if prompt SC.write, user has sent the following message. Let's change this to this. And now I can say prompt. And if we go to our app, there we go. So I can say something like, hello, future chatbot. And the interface allows us to print that to terminal. Obviously, that's not what we want to do. We want to hook this up with ChatGPT. So let's take a look. We're going to mirror your input. Okay, so it kind of like, it seems quite easy to see how we can now build a chatbot from this very simple interface that Streamlit provides. So as Streamlit explains in the tutorial, let's think about different components we need to build. We need 2 chat message containers to display messages from the user and the bot respectively. Yeah, we need to be able to send messages, and we need the bot to be able to send messages, right? Of course. We need a chat input widget so the user can type in a message, which is this thing over here. Okay, perfect. And the third thing is we need a way to store chat history so we can display it in the chat message container. We can use a list to store the messages and append it to every time the user or bot sends a message. Each entry in the list will be a dictionary with the following keys. Okay, so it's rolling content. Okay, great. So this is perfect because now we can start building a chat history. So if message is not in session state, we start a list with all the messages that were sent, and then display chat messages from history on the app rerun. Okay, so we're going to copy this and append it to our already existing little bot here. Okay, perfect. And let's see what kind of changes we see here. Sub future ChatGPT. Okay, cool. And let me see if something else happened. No, it didn't. Says right, chat message role, and then message content. Okay. Display chat messages from history. Okay, so essentially when I write this, it overruns that. So let's just comment this out for now. And what happens is message, so it initializing this, and for message in the messages. Okay. So we don't have message in the messages, so it won't show anything yet. Got it. Okay. So since this is not going to work, we got to change it up. And that's what it's teaching us to do right here. Okay. So I give a prompt chat input, and then with the chat message user, it will show the input and then append the prompt to the session state messages list. Okay, so now I start to get this. Okay, this is very cool because now I can do this. I can copy this to here, and let's see what happens now. Hi. I can say hi, and now it's showing me how's it going. Okay, so it's appending on the message, and it's showing the messages from the user. Okay, perfect. So now probably we'll only have to set up the messages from the chatbot, and we'll have our little conversational app going. So they're using the find operator to assign the user's input to the prompt and check if it's found none in the same line. If the user has sent a message, we display the message into the chat message container and append it to the chat history. Okay, that makes sense. And then all that's left to do is add the chatbot's response within the if block. We use the same logic to display the bot's response, which is what we just discussed. And let's do it. So then the response is going to be this, respond assistant, append. That's perfect. So now we can have this thing here. Oh, wait, there we go. We can have this thing in here. Respond is this. And then what is up? Okay. I see. Okay, so I'm just going to copy the full code from this version. Thank you very much. So we're cheating a little bit for now, but stick with me. It's not all we're going to do. Okay, so I just copy and paste it. Okay, so hi, how's it going? What is up? Okay, cool. So this is just saying, look, if the prompt is what is up, It kind of treats it as the message from, message from the assistant. Okay, cool, great. Okay, so I guess now build a simple chatbot UI with streaming. Okay, that's interesting. Let's take a look at how this looks. So I'm just gonna copy this file for now. Okay. I'm gonna reload this thing and let's take a look. Simple chat. Let me see if this thing is okay. Hello there. How can I assist you today? Okay, what is up? Got it. And then message. So I'm just gonna say hi. Hello there. How can I assist you today? Oh, nice. Tell me something. There you go. Something else. Yeah. So in this moment, the app is just showing predefined messages, but we're going to change that because we're going to hook this thing up with the ChatGPT API. There you go. Build a ChatGPT. Okay, so now we got install OpenAI Streamlit. I already have that installed. If you guys don't, please install it. Set up your OpenAI API key, and now we're going to write the app. Nice. Okay, so now we have a little ChatGPT clone. So let's copy this thing here. Let's paste it. And yep. Okay, so let's see if this thing, okay, always rerun. So now it's getting an error because no secrets files found. Okay, OpenAI API key. So I'm just going to say, this, look, import the OS, and I'm going to access my environment variable where I have stored the OpenAI API key. Yeah. And now this thing should work. And now we're going to write ChatGPT a message like, hi, ChatGPT, tell me a joke about AI. And there we go. Sure, here's one for you. Why did the AI go on a diet? Because it had too many bites. Very funny. All right. Okay, so look at the size of this app. That's how simple it is now to build your own conversational app using Streamlit. Now, there's a lot we can do with this thing, right? I mean, we could just have a conversation like, write me the code for visualizing random points in a string. And there we go. We can get codes directly in the terminal, and we can, it's essentially the same as a simple ChatGPT app. Of course, it doesn't have all the features of the traditional ChatGPT app that we have access to, but it's pretty cool. So let's break down this tutorial from the Streamlit documentation and see what's going on. So essentially, first we get our imports. So I'm just gonna focus on the code now. So first we get our input. So we start by importing OpenAI, importing Streamlit, and then importing OS. Then we give our app a title. Let's just call it ChatGPT-like app. We set up our OpenAI API key, and then what we do here is we define the OpenAI model, and that session state will have that model as its reference. So in this case, we are setting it to GPT 3.5 Turbo, which is the traditional ChatGPT model. And now we're setting up the session state messages, which will contain the history of messages sent by the user and by the assistant. Finally, for all the messages in the state, it's going to write it down so that we can have access to in the conversation, which is what you guys were seeing there. As I was writing, it was being streamed to the screen, and then there we go. And then what's happening here is the same we're appending the messages from the user, and we're appending the messages from messages, etc. We're appending the messages from the user containing the prompt, and then we're writing them in the app itself. And now with the when we get a message from the assistant, what we're doing here is setting up the message placeholder and then storing the full response from the ChatGPT API. This is the call from the ChatGPT API, so it's looping over a call to the chat completion .create method, and then setting up the model that was stored in the SessionState OpenAI model. This is something that we probably could, set up some slider in Streamlit so that we can play around with different models. And then we're saying, okay, the message to the ChatGPT API, it's what's contained here. That's very interesting. So it's kind of cool. So it's sending all the messages from the SessionState to the ChatGPT API, collecting the responses, and then appending them to that message placeholder that was defined before. Finally, writing that down and then appending the message from the role. So it will append to the chatbot history. It will append to the session state history the messages sent by the user and the messages sent by the assistant. Now, this is pretty cool. And when we run, this is the thing that we get. So I can continue to have a conversation like, okay, cool. Give me 5 ideas on topics to explore artificial intelligence and augmentation of human learning. Write it as a set of bullet points. And there we have it. We're getting the output. And this thing is pretty fast. Now, even more cool than that is we could come here and say, okay, but maybe I want to play around with different OpenAI models. So I could say something like st.sidebar.selectbox and then give it a list like first start with GPT 3.5 Turbo, sure, but I mean, maybe add GPT-4 as well, right? So that I can compare the answers to. And then the default would be GPT 3.5 Turbo, right? And let's see what happens now. Now, if I click on always rerun, I should be getting at some point, let's restart this app, and I should have an option on the sidebar to get access to. Okay, so I said select box. Okay, got it. So I have to give this and then the list. Yeah, got it. Okay, so I have to say select box, select your OpenAI model. There we go. And then set select box value as invalid type string. And oh my God, select your OpenAI model to provide turbo. Okay, maybe this thing here was not supposed to be here. Let's take a look. There's no sidebar. That's annoying. That's very weird. Let's see. If OpenAI model not in session state. Okay. Got it. For now, I'm gonna just remove this if statement so that we can see, there we go. And now we can see that, I have access to GPT 3.5 Turbo and GPT-4. So let's see, hi, which model are you? I mean, a model known as GPT 3.5. Okay, so now I'm gonna change to GPT-4. Hi, which model are you? GPT-4 does not exist because probably it's GPT-4. Now I just changed that to GPT 3.4. Now let's change GPT-4. And hi, which OpenAI model are you? GPT model. Okay, so that's annoying. But I mean, since it ran, we know that this is GPT-4. So we can just compare the outputs to the same input by saying something like, give me 5 ideas for articles about using AI for improving human learning. There you go. So now I'm getting the outputs. As you can see, I can access both models. So I can now switch, take a look at GPT 3.5 Turbo, send the same message, and we can compare the outputs. You see that the output from GPT 3.5 Turbo is much faster, as you can see by the speed of the writing. And, we could compare, we could play around, we could probably in the future enhance this by adding open source models like adding Llama, Falcon 40B, and this is the kind of stuff you can do. Essentially, in this video, we just covered the basic tutorial from Streamlit and played around a little bit with what we can do with this type of functionality. But I want to explore a little bit more of this, so just watch out for some videos on how to expand these kinds of conversational app features that Streamlit has released to do something more interesting. All right? Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you next time. Cheers.